morning Year 5 and 6, welcome to Thursday and Thursday's English lesson. So yesterday you should have completed your box it up plans for your formal letters about whether you agree or disagree that the Budmouth Point locals should help the refugees. So today we are going to be doing your first draft of your letter. So remember, this doesn't need to be super neat, it just needs to be all of your ideas, getting it down in the correct format of a letter. Okay, so let's have a look at how to lay out and format your letter together. So, as we discussed on Monday, it's your address, okay? So you're the one that's writing the letter, so your address, which we can use the school address for your address, is in the top right-hand corner of a letter. So directly below, you can use the date Thursday the 4th of Feb, which is the date today, but your year should be 1940 because that is when our story was set and therefore when our letter is set. Okay, so next we need to think about the address of the recipient, of who you're writing to, the person that's going to be receiving your letter. Okay, so we know that we're writing to Budmouth Point Council today, okay, to get our point across, whether we agree or we disagree. So here's an example address for you that you can use. So Budmouth Point City Hall, Lighthouse Road, Devon, DT7 3EG. Okay, so you can copy that one down onto the left-hand side of your page, below the date. Directly beneath that, we need to include who we are writing to. Okay, so in this case, we're writing to the council, but we don't actually know the name of the person that we're writing to. So I've got my trusty assistant down here who's going to be typing. Miss Smart is going to be typing for me as I'm talking. Hopefully this works okay. So we are going to be writing to, we don't know, so we're going to be writing Dear Sir or Madam. Okay, so instead of using somebody's name, we're going to say Dear Sir or Madam, and then we're going to make sure we include our comma. Excellent. So now let's move on to our first paragraph. Okay, so who can remember what our first paragraph of our letter is about? What does our first paragraph include? Can you remember? Okay, so our first paragraph is always kind of about the purpose of writing the letter. Okay, so you can start this paragraph with I am writing. Okay, so you can start it off with I am writing and then you carry that on. Okay, you finish off that paragraph. You explain why are you writing this letter. So next, moving on to paragraph 2 of our Box It Up plan. Again, can you remember what this paragraph was? You should hopefully have your Box It Up plan in front of you. Our paragraph 2 was all about the problem, okay? And our problem is, should the Budmouth Point locals help the refugees that are fleeing Europe? Okay, so we could start this paragraph nice and formally by using the phrase, due to the current situation in Europe. And now it's over to you. You finish off that sentence using your Box It Up plan from yesterday and all the points that we put in box number 2. Okay, make sure you get your key vocab in there and also remember to write in full sentences. Okay, so moving on to paragraph 3, and now this is where your opinion comes in. Do you agree or do you disagree that the Budmouth Point locals should help the refugees? Okay, so you're not agreeing and disagreeing. We don't want you to put both points in this letter. You need to express your opinion whether you agree or you disagree. Okay, so hopefully you've got a few points now in your Box It Up plan to express your opinion. But you could start this paragraph using furthermore. It's a nice opening word there, sentence starter. So furthermore, comma, I believe that. So furthermore, I believe that, and then you express your opinion. Okay, and finally, we've made it onto paragraph 4. So this is your conclusion. Okay, so this is where you can summarise your letter. Okay, so you can summarise the reason why you're writing and draw your letter to a close. Okay, so you could start this paragraph using, in conclusion, I hope you will. Okay, because I think in Monday's lesson we discussed that in your conclusion you can ask the person you're writing to for an action. So, for example, if you're writing to the council about this problem with the refugees, then you could potentially ask for them to reply to your letter, or you could ask for them to help in a particular way. And remember, our grammar focus for this week was modal verbs. So do you notice how we've included a modal verb here? I hope you will. Okay, so perhaps you could try dotting a few more modal verbs throughout your letter to help persuade the recipient, okay, to agree or disagree to help the refugees.
How do we finish a letter, Miss Jennings?
So, well, how do we finish a letter? It depends, doesn't it, whether we know the person that we're writing to or whether we don't, Miss Smart. So, let's go back to the beginning of our letter. We wrote, Dear Sir or Madam. Okay, so we don't know the person that we're writing to. So to finish off our letter, we need to sign it off with yours faithfully. Okay, because we don't know the person, we're asking to respond to us in faith. And then you can sign it off with your name. Okay, so here we go. Here is our formal letter layout that myself and Miss Smart have put together to help you. So let's just go through a bit of a checklist for when you're writing your formal letter plans today. So we've got to remember our formal layout of a letter. So we've got our addresses in the right place, we've got our date there, we've got Dear Sir or Madam, and then we're signing off our letter yours faithfully. Okay, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 clear paragraphs in there. Okay, we have used a modal verb, but hopefully you'll use a few more in yours. Okay, and finally we have used varying sentence starters here. Okay, so now it's over to you. You can take this and then use it to help you write the first draft of your letter.